much like the session that you chaired on the uses, the balances, the integration, the North or South, or we would say developed and developing country interaction. Is there something here that you would like to bring out to us?
Let's look at the calls for action on page 33. Something that came up in both sessions was the use of food crops for biofuels. This is becoming a very hot issue. Sorry?
This is not only a hot issue, but it's also very much in the environment track. And there's a crossover between you. Why don't you bring it up, and then right after this I'll go to the environment and ask them what happened in their sessions. Please.
Because as that first bullet point on page 33 says, how do we resolve the competition for land and water resources, because I'm a drought person, between food and energy production while these resources are limited? Do we use maize for biofuels? And what will it do to the prices of these crops? And will it spike to the extent that people in the developing world, the South, cannot actually afford those prices?
Hold that thought, Jennifer, because when we do the environment, this is, I think, going to be one of the key questions that the chair ladies over there would want to emphasize. And I'd like to come back to you just a little bit at that moment to see how your group felt and if there was a difference between the two. Would that be all right?
Absolutely.
We'll hold on to that one. And before finishing in agriculture, Prabhu, let me I'll go to you, sir. And Prabhu Pingali is Director of the Agricultural and Development Economics Division of FAO, that is the Food and Agriculture Organization. Now, you had a take-home message on page 28 that was immensely positive, which said, it can be done. It can be done. What will it take to get it to be done? How are we going to break down barriers? What would be if you had to prioritize right now and tell everyone what it would take, what is it that you would like to leave us with, sir?
Thank you. Let me start with a little bit of a background before I get to exactly answering the question. This session, which looked at integrated approaches to eradicating hunger and poverty, is a session that focused very much on the Millennium Development Goal number 1, on hunger and poverty, and essentially asked the question, can we get there? Can we get to achieving the Millennium Development Goal number 1? And I think in this sense, we have both good news and bad news. The good news is that Asia, Latin America are very much on track to achieving the Millennium Development Goal number 1. Even South Asia will just barely make the Millennium Development Goal number 1. And the question is, how did they do it? These regions did it with massive investments in productivity improvement, agriculture productivity improvement, food crop productivity improvement. And what that did was it led to an immediate positive impact on hunger reduction, on improvements in food security. But it also resulted in agriculture acting as an engine of growth for overall economic growth and overall economic development. So if you look across these regions, you don't find too many countries that are moving into the emerging market economies, middle-income countries, that did not first start with improvements in their agriculture sector. Singapore and some oil emirates are exceptions, but every other country has gone through agriculture first strategy, which was